सोचिए ज़रा, you're a kid again, school's out, you have got a snack in one hand and you're on the other, the latest edition of Amar Chitra Katha. You flip through pages, diving headfirst into the epic tales, clever kings, and of course, सुपंदी की कहानियाँ. और जैसे ये कहानियाँ कभी पुरानी नहीं होती, वैसे ही वो भी इस लेगेसी को नए ज़माने तक लाने में लगी है. She is the mastermind making sure these iconic tales are just something your parents talk about. She is bringing it to life for a whole new generation. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of CXO Insights. This is Himanshu Dhani and today we have with us the marketing head of Amar Chitra Katha and Tinkle Comics, Damini Batham.
Hi Himanshu. Thank you for having me here.
How is Dehradun?
I've come for the first time to Dehradun and it's a beautiful city. I would call it a city, it's not a hill station. I thought it's a hill station. It's beautiful, especially the UPES campus is what I've seen so far. And I think it's beautiful. People are really good here.
So the one thing that I would love to know about you at first is that you work in a creative place.
Yeah.
And did you always wanted to do something creative in your life? How did you reach here? What is your journey?
So I think creativity is something that I always had, I think. But I explored it much later in life. So as a young child, I wanted to become a pilot. I wanted to fly fighter jets and, I was very passionate about it. I wanted to join Air Force. And at that time, we didn't have so much research and nobody was, because I come from a business family. Half of my family is in media. The cousins are all in media. So becoming an officer was never a choice. I've never heard of it. So there was nobody to guide us. Then I just heard that, you for becoming a pilot or in an Air Force, you need a good eyesight. It's like 6'6" and 6'9". So I never watched television much because I knew I had to take care of my eyesight. I used to eat all the red stuff because it's good for your eyesight. So itna passion tha. Unfortunately, when I got eligible, when I reached an eligible age, I got to know that women can't fly at that time. And they were a part of Air Force, but they were not rigorously there, especially during the wars, they were not allowed. And I was like, no, I can't be a valet, right? I am going to take the training, but I'm just going to park the plane. That is not what I wanted to. So, but then again, Desh Bhakti bahut thi man mein, and I wanted to become an officer. So I thought, Air Force nahi to IAS hi sahi. So I started preparing for UPSC. So if you see, my bachelor's have been in physics, right? I've studied science. But how did I come to marketing? Because of my family circumstances, I started working really early in life, approximately when I was 18, right? And my first job was in marketing, right? And it just happened to be, it was not planned. But marketing is something I was enjoying, right? And after college, I used to work. So till the time I got graduated, I was earning good in marketing. And I was in an ad agency. It was an ad agency during that time. And after giving UPSC attempts, for a couple of attempts that I gave, I missed the list by 1 mark. And I realized that maybe it's not for me. I have to move on. So the good part about me is I moved on really quick. Obviously, it did hurt, but then I moved on because I didn't have the leverage to again give an attempt, again study for a year. It was really time and energy consuming. So the next backup plan was doing your own business. But again, doing your own business needs a good idea, an innovative idea, and which I didn't have at that time. So I thought marketing is something that I was enjoying doing it. And at that time, I was leading a project at the age of 21, 22 in that firm. And that particular agency went through a lot of phases, a lot of transitions, right? From traditional marketing, advertising, to digital marketing, then to creating a Bollywood directory, something like IMDb, right? And then into reality shows. So this particular learning that you see I got had, it helped me a lot. It made me volatile, which is one of the crucial skills in marketing. And then I realized, okay, I have a natural aptitude, a natural knack for studying, for marketing. And that's when I decided to have my career in marketing. And I was enjoying it, I was good at it. I'm very creative, so it helps me to maintain my creativity also, because if I go to some other field like sales and all, my creativity is going to get hampered. I was very scared of this. So I was like, yeah, I'll do marketing. And eventually I grew in marketing. I did my master's in marketing. I did my post-graduation in marketing again. Just to, obviously till the time I did my PG, I knew what marketing is. But still, a certification, a study would have been better. So, and that's how I grew in marketing. And today, proudly, it's my honor to head the marketing department of Amar Chitra Katha. Iconic brands like Amar Chitra Katha and Tinkle.
So you were talking about having your own business. So if you want to do it now, right now, if you want to start your own comics, what would that look like?
So when it comes to doing a business, I always feel there are two things, right? नहीं तो कुछ innovative करो, right? Something which is out of blue, something which nobody has done it. Yeah, do something in an innovative way, right? Entering a thick market is not easy, right? So अभी तक दोनों में से कुछ भी click नहीं हुआ है. But if I had to start my own comic book, I would never do that because Amar Chitra Katha is already there, and I know the potential of the brand. So I would never do that. I would rather work for a company like Amar Chitra Katha. But yeah, let's see. I'm waiting for the idea to hit someday.
So it has been how many years working with Amar Chitra Katha?
It's going to be almost 4 years now.
4 years.
Yes, almost.
Okay. So what if someday if you get a chance to meet the original creators and they ask you for an advice, what would you tell them?
Original creators, I mean the founder who was Anand Pai, we call him Uncle Pai, right? I would tell him that the advice that I would give would be, I don't know, because whatever he did was before time, like it was actually ahead of time, right? Because imagine in 1967, creating comic books of mythological characters was not a joke. Right? It was like creating a cartoon out of Krishna and all of this, right? And the first title itself was Krishna, right? So one suggestion that I would give him was, I don't know, hire me as soon as possible so that I can amplify the brand to a bigger level. But yeah, I mean, I was not even born at that time, so.
And if you were forced to remove some part of Amar Chitra Katha or something related to Amar Chitra Katha, what would that be?
Something related to Amar Chitra Katha. I don't think I would change anything. The way Amar Chitra Katha has evolved with time, because if you see the classic art to new art and the titles, the relevant content that we put out now, we have grown with the evolution. We have not been stuck with the things that we did, right? And I don't think I'll change any of this because it's just more than perfect. The way it is, Amar Chitra Katha is, the beauty of Amar Chitra Katha is that we tell genuine stories. We don't tell you our view or your view, or we don't ask for views. We tell the story, right? And that's the most beautiful part about Amar Chitra Katha. When I joined, I remember asking Reena Puri about why can't we add a page in the end and say lessons from the story? Like, you know, moral of the story is what you used to read. So she told me that we want kids to have their own morals. Okay. Because when you make them stick to one moral, that's what they'll think. But when you leave them open, right, leave their mind open, relax and think, what did you learn from the story, right? So that's the beauty of this brand. The way it's created, it's not a brand, it's a legacy. The way it's created, it has its own beauty, and I don't think I'll change any of this.
This is a legacy brand, and what legacy would you want to leave for the next person after you?
So my boss, my CEO, she always says that we are the current caretakers of Amar Chitra Katha, right? We are not the owners, right? There were a lot of people before us, and there'll be a lot of people who will be handling before it. And we want the brand to be for next 500 years. It's just a starting for us, right? So I think what I would like to leave, I don't know why I would like to leave, I won't leave this ever. But if I had to leave something, I would leave a lot of platforms for the next marketer, lot of new avenues where they can promote the brand. I would leave the brand at a point where everybody knows about it, everybody has a piece of it, right? And people, the respect and the love that we have is there, it's immense. But I would like to leave it with the highest amount of love in the market for the next marketeer to come.
And you were talking about changing times and evolution. So in this evolving world, don't you think that the name Amar Chitra Katha is a bit old for today's generation? So how will you connect the name with the generation itself?
Yeah, so it's not the name actually. When people say it's nostalgia, it's the stories, it's the time that they read the books in. The stories are relevant even today, right? Stories don't never get old, right? Obviously, what you learn from them, yeah, what you take from the story, that keeps changing as per the trend, as per the evolution. To be relevant today, we have a lot of books that we create nowadays is about women empowerment, about stories that people want to read. We want kids to read, right? We already have more than 500 titles now, right? But currently what we are making is very carefully planned, right? We want kids to, when we obviously want to balance mythology, visionaries and history, but the books that we come up with, the tribal leaders of India, we want stories that are never said before. Yeah, all the unsung heroes of India that our textbooks don't talk about, right? So these are some of the strategies that we try and use to be relevant, so that nowadays kids enjoy these readings. Because if I tell you to sit and read a book, you will never do that. But if I tell you that this story has something that even your history books don't, so you'll definitely read out of curiosity, right? And the feeling of belonging, the feeling of knowing our country better is much more now. People usually think that nowadays kids don't read. No, it's not that. Kids do read. Last year we sold more than 4 million copies. That means somewhere someone is reading, right? Books are not just getting into libraries, they're reading, right? And we have so many active readers. We have over 1 million followers, 1 million subscribers. Sorry, I'll just see that again. And we have 1 million subscribers on our Amar Chitra Katha and Tinkle apps, right? So digital as well as physical reading is there. So kids are reading, kids are inquisitive, kids want to know about the culture, they want to know where they belong to, and that's the only goal we want to serve.
So talking about digital and print, what is your favorite?
I prefer reading physically, reading books. And I've recently started reading digital also, and it's not that bad. I'll take time, but the current generation and the generation that are going to come ahead, they are going to prefer reading on digital screens as well. So that's the reason we try to balance both.
And talking about the new generation, what have you done through like social media? Any campaign that is your favorite?
So we have done a lot of campaigns, on social media especially, because we have the customer-consumer issue. Our customers on social media, but our consumers are not. Kids are not on social media. So we try to engage as well as inform them about our new products, which are good for their kids. So it's a very tricky place to be in, right? But we try our best. We have grown our social media from 20,000 followers. We are now at 1.5 lakh followers, and they're all organically brought, right? They are not paid followers. They're genuine fans, right? Who like to engage with our app, who are die-hard fans of Amar Chitra Katha, right? So we try to be relevant. We try to engage with them a lot. We have an entire range of merchandise, especially for the age group that you're talking about, the young kids that you're talking about, which are not a target audience for reading books. But again, Amar Chitra Katha doesn't have an age group. Even if we make books for younger kids, for 6 to 13, 14, but Amar Chitra Katha is read by everyone, right? So that's how we engage with the young kids. Lot of quizzes, lot of events we do, especially in Comic-Con. Amar Chitra Katha quiz in Comic-Con is very famous. It's well received. People love it when we go on the stage and ask questions. Imagine in an atmosphere like Comic-Con, people enjoying Amar Chitra Katha quizzes. That means the love is still there, right? And it's growing. It's growing with every day. So yeah.
And you represented India in San Diego at the Comic-Con. What was that like?
Oh God, that was adventurous. It was very last minute for us to plan, and the entire process of what to take and how would we present ourselves there, and everything was a big challenge. We got some premium production done for the US market because it was the first time we were physically going there, right? And it was first time for any comic publisher to go outside India and present India at International Comic-Con. So it was amazing. The response that we got there, the love that we got there was amazing. There were people who were just Indians, especially when they saw Amar Chitra Katha. Suddenly they saw Amar Chitra Katha. Oh my God! I mean, between Crunchyroll, Marvel, DC, there's an Amar Chitra Katha. And when they used to see us, they used to come hugging, they used to cry in tears, and they used to know that's the amount of love that we have, right? And when we went there and when we were experiencing all of this, we realized that we were doing something really right. we're really, in the right spot. We're moving in the right direction, because that kind of love. And San Diego Comic Con is really good. We had a sellout. Whatever we took from here, we never got anything back. So it was really good. Engagement wise also, it was really good. There were so many Americans, so many people from different nationality there who came to Comic Con, who picked our books, who picked our merch, and they loved it. They loved it. So yes, that's how we are trying to expand in other countries as well.
And collaborations are really important these days. And there's this fashion brand called Pero. They collaborated recently with Hello Kitty, so it helped them a lot. So, and Hello Kitty is really famous. So what will you do to collaborate Amar Chitra Katha or Tinkle with today's characters, fictional characters, to generate attention? And
Okay, so we have also licensed our characters to a lot of brands like Soul Store. We have worked with Anushka Sharma's brand Noosh, right? So we have licensed our characters. Recently, we got an entire range of Tinkle T-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts made by A47, right? So we are moving into that direction as well. While it gives us the visibility, it also helps us generate some revenue also, because it's a new range of merchandise that we are exploring. And beyond books also, we want people to have a piece of our brand, right? So partnerships is something that we believe strongly. And a major part of my work has been through collaborations, collaborating with ministries of India, collaborating with big institutes, all the big brands that you mentioned. We have done a lot of things with others.
And if there are a lot of marketing campaigns these days that backfire and people and brands really get hurt, so something like this has ever happened to you?
Yes, it has. When it comes to Amar Chitra Katha, the sentiments are really high, right? The people think that this is what we grew up with and this is a part of our childhood, right? So they don't want to change anything about it, right? And if you see the evolution of our company as a brand, we've moved very smoothly, right? ऐसा नहीं रातों रात कुछ कर दिया हमने, right? बहुत धीरे धीरे हमने transition लाया है. So any social media post that goes out, any comment that we reply to, everything is well thought, right? Like recently, it's been a couple of years, we were celebrating the Authors Day, like an Authors Week. We were just celebrating some authors, and one of the authors was Arundhati Roy, right? And she's a controversial personality. But we were just talking about her contribution in literature, right? The books that she has made. And it was a grid, it was a 9-post grid, so we thought it will be really good to have her also on that grid. And in an hour, we were all over Twitter, right? Right from people saying that Amar Chitra Katha is dead, to Uncle Pai died again, and there were so many posts, so many comments. People started thinking that we're creating a book on her, right? So that's how Chinese Whisper works, you know. And we took the post down in an hour, but people had taken screenshot. It was too late. People took screenshots. People started commenting anything, and it was all over Twitter. And they started finding us. They started finding my boss, the editor, and everyone. They started messaging them. That what are you doing with the brand? And that's the amount of love they have, right? And the obsession that they have is that the brand can't do anything wrong. How is that possible, right? So that created a lot of controversy. We got a lot of threats, a lot of these, that, and then finally we came up with a clarification that, and we handled it very smoothly so that we don't, get any mistake and media doesn't pick it. So we came up with a clarification post where we said that it was just a post. Okay, we are not coming up with any of our new books on Arundhati Roy, right? And that's how we celebrate. We were celebrating a part of her contribution. So then that clarification, people were like, okay, now we forgive you, and all of this, you know. So imagine the amount of attachment people have with the brand. So controversy is something we have been a part of. There was another controversy where people burned our books. We came up with tribal leaders of India, and there was a particular term that the particular region of people didn't like, right? The term that we used for a particular freedom fighter. So people were burning our books, and all of this keeps happening. Yeah? So we are a part of the controversy, but again, the amount of love people have it's difficult when someone loves you very much, you know, you hurt them very easily. That's how it works in life. So that's how it's with Amar Chitra Katha brand also.
Yeah, I can imagine that with Arundhati Roy. She's a great author, but she has been controversial.
Yeah.
And so, if Amar Chitra Katha and Tinkle were to release an OTT series, what is that going to be?
That's a very good question, in fact. Applause Entertainment, it's one of the biggest production houses, have licensed more than 400 titles of Amar Chitra Katha to turn them into animation, right? And it includes Mahabharata also. And this is going to be out soon, right? And it's going to start from YouTube, but it's eventually going to planning to move on OTT as well. So that's where Amar Chitra Katha is. And when it comes to Tinkle, Zebu Animation is working on an animated series on Supandi and Wingstar, right? Again, which is going to be launched on YouTube and then eventually going to be planned to be moving to OTT. So that's how we are. We do have plans, but animations again take time. So I think we very soon, in fact, mostly in Mumbai Comic Con, we're planning to announce something very special. So about this, but yeah, we are very excited to see how it turns out to be. It's the first time that we're doing something like this. We did have animation videos, but they were all motion graphics and they were not that level animation. But this being Applause and Zebu, we are very excited to see what comes out.
And it's a long journey you have had in marketing. And what day will you consider the hardest part of that journey?
So far, I don't think so. I've seen that day. Okay. But I think personally, being a marketer and being a creative person, the hardest day for me would be I'm not able to think what next, right? The day I feel that ho gaya, ab sab kuch ho gaya hai. You know, that would be the dangerous day for me because I always have plans, right? I always know what next I'm going to do or how much potential I have. And that would be the worst day of my life where I'm not able to think that what next. So yeah, luckily that day hasn't come yet, but I hope that doesn't come.
Different from marketing, but today we have cancel culture. Everything is getting cancelled for being a little out of the taste of people. What characters or can the comics ever get cancelled?
Especially when it comes to Amar Chitra Katha and Tinkle, our stories are very relative, right? It's very related. Talking about Amar Chitra Katha, it's non-fiction. So people do know about these characters. Maybe they don't know the story, right? But some part of it they know. I'm sure they know. They've heard of it or, you know, something like that. So when it comes to, I won't say cancel, but when it comes to backlash, yes, we do get a lot of backlash because because there are a lot of different versions of mythology, right? One story of, for example, Ramayana, there are so many versions of Ramayana, right? So we understand that people are coming from a different version of the story that they want to listen to. But we always mention where the story is coming from. For example, if we are launching a Mahadeva book, so we always mention that these stories are from Shiv Puran, right? So that's how we do mention. But sometimes people don't like some characters, sometimes people like the old art, they don't like the new art. So we do get a lot of backlash. There are extremist groups that usually, bash us for creating books on Mughal leaders, right? Like Akbar and the other books that we have. And the other side of the society backlashes us and calls us that we create books on only Hindu mythology and all. But we usually don't get affected by all of this. We are just trying to do our job, and that's telling stories, and that's what we focus on.
And जैसे दूसरे बड़े कॉमिक ब्रांड्स हैं तो वो जो नई जनरेशन है दे आर ऑटोमेटिकली इंटरेस्टेड इन दैट, तो जैसे उनकी स्टोरी लाइन कुछ ऐसी होगी या फिर तो ऐसा आप क्या कर सकते हैं जिससे मतलब अपने आप ऑटोमेटिकली कुछ ऐसा स्पाइसी जो सबको चाहिए होता है आजकल?
So this part of the spicy that you're saying is mostly in fiction, yes. Right? Because non-fiction, you can't create your own stories, right? You can obviously change it a bit to adjust that in the comic format, but you can't change the story because somewhere someone knows it, right? So, but when it comes to fiction, we have started a new Tinkle studio, right? Wherein we are planning to make comics for adults, right? Because Tinkle magazine is for kids. So the first book of that was Minal Murli, right? So Minal Murli is a very famous movie in South, and we created a comic book on that, right? It's like a graphic novel, more of a graphic novel, which was well received. Right? So we do plan to create a lot of these more. It's going to create, obviously take time to create that kind of, the buzz that you mentioned. But eventually we'll be there. We do have plans. So let's see.
On a softer side, if you were to create a high school romance or a college romance, I think people would be really interested. Is that possible?
So the thing is, when it comes to Tinkle and Amar Chitra Katha, we are known for some things, right? And karne ke liye to we can do anything and everything, right? It's our own brand, right? But we wisely choose what exactly we want our kids to read, what we want our people of our country to read, right? Because what we put out is trusted. The people have a lot of trust in us, right? And any random thing, any fun stuff that we put, it has to be balanced. Even in Tinkle, when when there are Supandi stories which are very witty and all that, but we try to balance it. We make sure that we are not crossing the line, right? So, and when it comes to this brand, as I mentioned, people are there are a lot of sentiment. So I don't think we can go that way ever. But you never know what future has got.
And I think honestly it would be really complicated because the new age children are really complicated in their own way.
And I always say, अगर हम सबको वो सब करेंगे तो फिर हम जो करें वो कौन करेगा? Right? Someone has to do that also.
If you were to hire one character from the comic Tinkle, who would that be as a marketing intern?
As a marketing intern, okay. I would never hire Supandi or Shambhu because Supandi, as you know, he's very goofy. He would have helped me in creating some innovative plans, but I don't know the execution part. I would have hired Wingstar. So Wingstar is our comparatively a new character for us, and it's been licensed again by Zebu. So the animation is about to come. So because Wingstar is a superhero from the Northeast, right? Her name is Mapui, and she is, since she's a superhero, she would help me in doing a lot of tasks and a lot of complicated stuff in time, before time. So I think I'll hire Wingstar. She would be a great addition to the team.
And anything else other than the comics that you like to read in your favorite time that is related to your personal life or things you read to get inspiration from?
Okay, so I read Robin Sharma. I read a lot of books of Robin Sharma. Then I read a lot of books on feminism because that part of me is still there inside me. So I'm just about to start Invisible Women. I have been reading Naomi Wolf's book. I do read a lot, but the bad part about it is I don't complete books. So there are a lot of books in my library which are incomplete with all the bookmarks inside. But I love reading, and I'm working in a publishing company, so I get paid to read, right? It's one of the fun part of my job. We read whenever there's a new book. The first thing the marketing team does is sit and read the book, right? So reading is a part of my job and of my life. I love reading, and I like reading Vedic astrology a lot. I have a lot of books on astrology and palmistry. I have some different kind of interest in that, and it's really it's not that I believe a lot in that, but I'm really good at it and I really like reading about it. So yeah, these are the kind of books I read.
And writing something of your own?
I do journaling. I do write.
I mean, as in publishing your own.
Oh, that? Oh my God. No. So, when you are in a publishing company, you realize how bad your English is. Because you are, every full stop, every comma matters, right? And when we usually talk, we don't realize that our language is not that great. Especially considering, living in Mumbai, your one language can never be the best. Whenever you're talking in 3-4 languages. It's a mixture of 3-4 languages, right? Either because in the morning you're talking to your help in Marathi, then ghar pe you talk in Hindi, and then office mein you talk English. So it's a mixture of all of this. So I don't think I can ever write a book, but you never know. I might learn from our editors and I might publish a book one day.
So now we'll be moving towards the rapid fire round. And the first question is one word that describes your marketing style.
Innovative.
Innovative. One character you would love to meet.
Meet?
From the comics.
Love to meet Shambhu.
Okay. The most iconic character from the comics?
So when you say comics, it's Amar Chitra or Tinkle?
Both.
Both, okay. One of the iconic would be APJ Abdul Kalam.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. I wish I could have met him.
Print or digital?
Print.
And Amar Chitra Katha or Tinkle, your favorite?
Amar Chitra Katha.
Okay. One brand you would love to collaborate with? Your secret to staying creative?
I keep it simple. That's the secret. Usually people think that, something innovative means, doing something which is not simple. I think simple things are innovative, and nobody can take that away from you.
And what if someday you run out of ideas?
If I'm out of ideas, I'll start with my first idea again. Because there's a long list, and I'm sure the first idea nobody remembers.
And it's almost 50 years, so nobody will
Yeah, it's 58 years.
58
years. So there are a lot of things that we have done.
If Tinkle had a podcast, what would it be called?
Oh, okay. It depends who's the host. If Supandi is the host, we would call it soup spot, something like that, because we call soup to Supandi. We usually internally we say soup, so something like that.
So now we will begin with the rapid fire round.
Okay.
What is your favorite jingle?
Dimag ki batti jala de.
Your favorite movie character?
Geet, I think from Jab We Met.
If your life was turned into comic, what would it be?
The title of the comic book you're asking?
Yes, title.
It's possible.
Okay. Most overrated marketing trend?
Getting on the trending audios, all of that. It's too much overrated.
If not India, then what other country would you stay in?
I would prefer Dubai over India. Not over India, if not India.
One character you would love to meet?
One character from the book, you
Yes,
mean?
both the comics.
Okay. I would love to meet Wingstar in real.
Okay. And print or digital?
I prefer print.
Tinkle or Amar Chitra Katha?
Amar Chitra Katha.
So, coming close to the end of the podcast, what message would you want to give to the future marketers?
I would say that keep it simple. Okay. What we study in management schools is your foundation. That's really good. Think beyond it. Think innovative. Think out of the box. Everybody is doing everything, right? Especially in the time of social media, where all the brands are there, screaming, shouting about their message out. So, being innovative, keep it simple, keep it genuine, and that's the way going ahead.
So now, Damini, we have a hamper for you. It's from Urban Buy Superstore. They are actually our alumni, and they started from one small general store, and
Wow.
now they have 7 stores.
Thank you so much. Thank you.